Hello students, in our last topic we discussed about structure of female reproductive system along with external genitalia and mammary glands. And in this chapter we will discuss about structure of ovary and then how the follicle formation takes place within the ovary and then how the ova development takes place within the follicle. That means, when we observe the female reproductive system, there are a pair of ovaries are present. That means, here one pair of ovaries are present. These ovaries, how they are arranged? What is the structure of ovary? And in the ovary, there are number of follicles are present. Number of follicles are present. And these follicles, how the follicle structure will be present at different stages. That one we will discuss now. That means, in this topic, we will discuss about structure of ovary along with follicular development. When we observe that ovary, actually they consist two layers. One pair of ovaries are present, which are also called primary sex organs in the case of female reproductive system. And in that ovary, each ovary consists two layers. One is outer layer, which is also called tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea. Inner side, they consist germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium. That means ovary consists two layers. One is tunica albuginea. Second one germinal epithelium. Inner side there is some empty space. Some empty space is present. All these empty space together called as stroma. Empty space present within the ovary is also called stroma. So here ovary consists two layers. One is tunica albuginea, second one germinal epithelium. These are the two outer layers present within the ovary. And inside space within the ovary is also called stroma. Now, blood vessels will enter into this ovary. Along with that, they also consist number of lymphatic vessels. So, ovary is connecting with the female reproductive system. We already discussed that mesovaria. And through that layer, what is happening? There is blood vessels are entering into. That means this one blood vessels. And then lymphatic vessels. All are enters into ovary and they covers all the stroma area. In this situation, the portion which is present at the marginal side of the stroma nothing but empty space present within the ovary, and in that marginal place present within the ovary or stroma, that marginal place is also called cortex. Middle portion is also called medulla. That means cortex, medulla, both are the part of stroma. Medulla means middle part of the stroma. Cortex means marginal part of the stroma. Likewise, different parts are present within the ovary. And here we will observe two type of cells. Two type of cells we can observe. One is oogonial cells. Oogonial cells. And then along with that, they also consist another type of cells which are also called stromal cells. Likewise, there are two type of cells are present. One is oogonia. Second one, stroma cells. Likewise, two type of cells are present within the ovary. And cells which are present within the ovary, that means oogonia cells and stromal cells, these two are helpful to form the follicles present within the ovary. We already discussed that ovary consists of number of follicles. That follicles actually formed by these oogonia and stromal cells. How the follicle development takes place? What are the different type of follicles we can observe in the case of female life history? That one we will discuss now. Here, oogonia cells, some of the oogonia cells will get specialized this one, oogonia cell. Right. Stromal cells present within the ovary. Now, what will happen? They surrounds the oogonia cell. Likewise, oogonia cell get specialized and some of the stromal cells will surround the specialized oogonia cell. Now it looks like one kind of follicle which is also called ovarian follicle. Ovarian follicle. These ovarian follicle then develops into primordial follicle. In this case, same oogonia cell. So ovarian follicle consists two type of cells. One is oogonia cell and number of stroma cells. And in this case, stroma cells will become elongated. Stroma cells will become elongated Now observe here cell size is small, that means stroma cells size is small here. But when we observe the stroma cells, they are elongated in nature. That elongated nature, stroma cells, now called as primordial cells, primordial cells. If we observe that, here this one again same oogonia cell. Oogonia cell. So ovarian follicle consists two type of cells, oogonia cells and stroma cells, like this. This one oogonia and surrounding cells are stroma cells. These stroma cells are increasing in size and changes into these primordial cells, and this follicle is also called primordial follicle. This one is also called primordial follicle. And next, When we observe this primordial follicle, then it develops into primary follicle. Primordial follicle then develops into primary follicle. During this primordial cells, when we observe the primordial follicle, there are elongated primordial cells are there. That primordial cell divides continuously and produces number of cells. And that cells are also called granulosa cells. Primordial cells now divides and produces number of cells. This surrounds the oogoria. Now see here, oogoria cell is maintaining same number, but primordial cells are increasing in more number. That's why these cells now called as granulosa cells. Granulosa cells. And inside female gamete, that is same. That means oogonia. And then when we observe this follicle, this type of follicle is also called primary follicle. Primary follicle. Then primary follicle then develops into secondary follicle. Primary follicle then develops into secondary follicle. In this case, this oogonia cell or primary oocyte or female gamete is same. And in this case, surrounding cells are called granulosa cells. Now observe here. Surrounding cells are granulosa cells. These granulosa cells secretes a kind of layer which is also called theca interna. This theca interna then undergoes changes and then produces theca externa. So this one, theca externa. Inner layer is theca interna. Theca interna. And these cells are granulosa cells. So, granulosa cells are producing theca externa and theca interna layers. And now, this follicle is also called secondary follicle. Primary follicle now changing into secondary follicle. During this, what is happening? These granulosa cells present alongside of the female gamete now producing another layer, that is theca interna and theca externa. Likewise, two layers will be produced by these granulosa cells. And now this follicle is also called secondary follicle. And then secondary follicle further changes into tertiary follicle. Here, tertiary follicle characteristic feature is there is a fluid filled cavity which is also called anther. That means female gamete or egg cell or oogonia cell. Okay, and around side of this they consist number of cells. which are also called granulosa cells. Some of the granulosa cells disappear Now see the ones. Oogonia cell or female gamete, around side there is granulosa cells, but they formed some empty space. Some empty space is present here. This one. And this empty space is also called antrum. This empty space is also called antrum. And here, granulosa cells, some of the granulosa cells are disappeared and formed one fluid filled cavity which is also called antrum, and it is a characteristic feature of tertiary follicle. And surrounding granulosa cells, there is one layer which is also called theca interna. Theca interna surrounds by another layer which is also called theca externa. So theca interna, so outer layer is theca externa, inner layer is theca interna, and inner side of the theca interna there are granulosa cells, and within the granulosa cells there is a cavity which is also called antrum, and these antrum filled with a fluid which is also called liquor follicle. Liquor follicle. Antrum filled with a kind of fluid which is also called liquor follicle. And then this follicle which consists this cavity, that follicle is also called tertiary follicle. Tertiary follicle. So tertiary follicle is the follicle which consists theca externa, theca interna, granulosa cells, and then antrum, that means cavity, and again some amount of granulosa cells. Within that, they consist this oogonia cell or female gamete. And here you have to observe that when you observe the granulosa cells, there is this connection. Granulosa cells are forming as a connection here. That means here one layer of granulosa cells are present, here one layer of granulosa cells are present. Between that, there is a connection. This one is also called germ hill. This one is also called germ hill. And when you observe that inner side, granulosa cells which are attaching with the female gamete, granulosa cells which are attaching to the female gamete, that granulosa cells are also called cumulus euphoricus. Cumulus euphoricus. So cumulus euphoricus means granulosa cells which are attaching to the female gamete. That is also called cumulus euphoricus. And within the cumulus euphoricus, there are elongated cells or very closed cells. Cumulus euphoricus nothing but granulosa cells which are attaching to female gamete. And in that, some cells are very closely associated with female gamete. That cells are also called corona radiata. So cells which are attaching to female gamete, which are the part of cumulus euphoricus, that are also called corona radiata. corona radiata. Likewise, different parts we can observe in the case of tertiary follicle. In tertiary follicle, there is fully formed theca externa, theca interna, granulosa cells, then germ hill, next cumulus euphoricus, and then corona radiata, and within that there is a female gamete. And along with that there is a cavity also present, which is also called anther. This type of follicle is also called tertiary follicle. And then tertiary follicle will develop into Graafian follicle. Tertiary follicle will develop into Graafian follicle. Inner side, cumulus euphoricus, and in that some cells are very closely associated with the female gamete, which are also called corona radiata. Corona radiata are the part of cumulus euphoricus, or a type of cumulus euphoricus cells. Cumulus euphoricus are type of granulosa cells. Granulosa cells are part of this primordial cells. That means they are formed from primordial cells. Primordial cells are formed from stroma cells. Stroma cells are present within the ovary. Remember that. And in this case, some amount of granulosa cells which are very closely associated with corona radiata are also called cumulus euphoricus, as like tertiary follicle, and some are attached with outside granulosa cells. So now, female gamete, corona radiata, cumulus euphoricus, germ hill, and then granulosa cells. Outside, they consist theca interna, this one theca externa. Likewise, different layers are present as like this tertiary follicle. But the difference between tertiary follicle and this Graafian follicle is when you observe the female gamete, there are corona radiata are present. So here they forms one layer, corona radiata along with the female gamete or egg cell will produce another layer. Another layer will be produced by the help of corona radiata and female gamete. That layer is also called zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. So zona pellucida layer is present. That is the main difference between tertiary follicle and this Graafian follicle. So after tertiary follicle, when it is changing into Graafian follicle, what is the change generally we can observe in the case of follicle means zona pellucida will be formed. These zona pellucida will be formed by glycoproteins. Zona pellucida layer will be formed by glycoproteins. And in this case, glycoprotein layer is formed by the nearby cells that are nothing but corona radiata and the outer layer of egg cell, which is nothing but white line membrane or plasma membrane. Both together will form the zona pellucida. And that is the main difference between the tertiary follicle and Graafian follicle. This one is Graafian follicle. So Graafian follicle consists, what are the layers? First one, theca externa, theca interna, granulosa cells, germ hill, and then cumulus euphoricus, then corona radiata, and then zona pellucida, and plasma membrane of egg cell. That means this one, egg cell. Likewise, different cells we can observe in the case of Graafian follicle. From this Graafian follicle, on the 14th day of menstrual cycle, these ova will be released outside. So that zona pellucidal layer surrounds by corona radiata. Surrounded by cumulus euphoricus. This ova will be released outside on the 14th day because of the LH upsurge. LH will act on these theca cells. As a result, it ruptures. So that what will happen? Ova will be released outside. And then these remaining empty follicle will changes into corpus luteum. Theca cells will produce elongated cells. And this one is also called corpus luteum. So when the ova is releases outside, remaining empty follicle will changes into corpus luteum. And here, cells which are present within the corpus luteum is also called luteal cells. That means these theca cells will helpful to form or proliferates into the cavity, and that cells are also called these luteal cells. And then corpus luteum then changes into corpus albicans. That means the follicle which is degenerates very fastly, a follicle which is formed from the corpus luteum, which is degenerating very fastly from the 23rd day onwards, that follicle is also called corpus albicans. Corpus albicans. So corpus albicans will be formed from 23rd day of the menstrual cycle. We will discuss about the menstrual cycle and changes later. Here, first we are discussing about ovary actually filled with follicles and how the follicle will be developed. We are not even discussing about how the ova formation will take place. We are just discussing about what are the changes will take place within the follicles of ovary. So, follicular development will exhibit all these features. So, observe here, when we observe the ovary, there are two types of cells are present. One is oogonia cells and second one stroma cells. When the oogonia cells are getting specialized, that oogonia cell will surrounded by the stroma cells. That stroma cell surrounds the oogonia cell. And then oogonia cell, that means when the ovarian follicle is changing into primordial follicle, during that what will happen? Stroma cells will become columnar or elongated in nature, and that cells are also called primordial cells, and that follicle is also called primordial follicle. And here I am not saying about these changes which are takes place within the female gamete. We will discuss about the changes which are takes place in female gamete as a process of oogenesis in next video. And here follicle development and follicle degeneration, how it is taking place. We are discussing about the follicle only. And primordial follicle consists primordial cells along with the female gamete or oogonia cell. And in this case, these primordial follicle then changes into primary follicle. During this, primordial cells will undergo divisions and number of cells will be produced. And these cells which are surrounding the oogonia cell are also called granulosa cells. These granulosa cells then secretes a kind of layer around side of the granulosa cells which are also called theca externa and theca interna. That means these two layers, outside one layer, inside one layer. Theca interna and theca externa. Likewise, two layers are formed around side of these granulosa cells. And this follicle is also called secondary follicle. When we observe these granulosa cells, they are more in number. And in that, some of the granulosa cells will disappear and forms one cavity which is also called antrum. And antrum filled with a kind of fluid which is also called liquor follicle. And this follicle which is consisting the cavity like antrum is also called tertiary follicle. And this tertiary follicle then further develops into Graafian follicle. During this, between the female gamete and corona radiata, they forms a kind of layer which is also called zona pellucida. That is a characteristic feature of this Graafian follicle. That means main difference between tertiary follicle and Graafian follicle. And from this Graafian follicle on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, because of the LH stimulus, theca cells will rupture, and as a result, female gamete will releases outside, or oogonia will releases outside, or gamete cell will releases outside. And later on, this empty follicle will changes into corpus luteum. And here, theca cells will proliferate into inner side and forms a kind of specialized cells which are also called luteal cells. And luteal cells are filled with yellow color substance. These are filled with yellow color substance which is also called lutein. Luteal cells filled with a fluid which is also called lutein, so that they exhibit yellow color nature. And after that, these corpus or luteal cells are helpful to produce the estrogen and progesterone hormones. Right. Then, after 23rd day, this corpus luteum, if fertilization not happens, this corpus luteum will changes into corpus albicans on the 23rd day. And here, when you observe these granulosa cells, they are helpful to secrete estrogen. And that granulosa cells which are present or which are changing because of the theca externa and theca interna or theca cells influence, they are changing into luteal cells, and that luteal cells are filled with lutein, so they exhibit yellow color nature, and that luteal cells will helpful to produce a kind of hormones which are also called estrogen and progesterone. But here, they produce more amount of progesterone, less amount of estrogen. And then, if the fertilization not happens, then this corpus luteum will changes into corpus albicans on the 23rd day, and slowly it gets degenerates and then releases outside as a menstrual fluid from the female body. Likewise, one follicle will undergo these kind of changes in the case of ovary. When you observe that oogonia cells, in the case of ovary, at the initial level, when the ovary, we are discussing about female, that female, when it is in embryo condition, when that embryo is present within the mother's womb, at that condition we are discussing. So, in that condition, we are discussing about ovary consists two types of cells, oogonia cells and stroma cells. But these oogonia, when it is releasing outside from the Graafian follicle, we are saying that female gamete. That means oogonia cell is changing into female gamete or secondary oocyte or ovum. So, Here we are not discussing what are the changes are taking place within the oogonia cell. That one we will discuss as a part of oogenesis. That means changing the female or oogonia cell into female gamete. There are different type of processes are involved, and that one we will discuss as a part of oogenesis. And about oogenesis we will discuss in our next video.